Hi, my name is Paige. I was tagged again by Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads to do another tag. I love when she tags me, it makes me so excited. So this one is called the Reread book tag, and it's all about rereading books. So the first question is, let's assume you do reread if you're doing this tag. So where do you sit on the rereading scale from almost never to all the time? And I'm gonna say I'm like over here on the almost never side. Number 2 is, has that changed over your reading life? I have felt myself wanting to reread more in this past year since I started, because there's some books that I just want to relive again. So I think I am going to start rereading a little bit more, but there are so many books that I want to get to that I feel like if I reread, I take away time that I could be reading a new book. Number 3 says, when do you reread? Maybe immediately after finishing a book, or not until years later, or when the mood strikes? I would say I don't usually reread until years after reading a book, and then I'm in a mood to be back in that world again. I have read The Hunger Games many times, and I always just have an urge to be in that world again. So it's usually when the mood strikes, a couple of years after my previous reread or the first time I've read it. Number 4 says, why do you reread books? For me, this is again wanting to be back in those worlds, and lately my urge to reread books has been wanting to be with those characters and the feelings that I got on their journeys, and having the relationships that they had, the relationships with their friends, the relationships with their partners. It was just so heartwarming at times that I want to feel that feeling again, especially when we are all stuck in quarantine, we are stuck at home, we are not seeing the people that we want to see all the time, doing our regular everyday routines, and it's nice to have that escape into something comforting that you have found in a book. Number 5 says, how do you reread? Faster, slower, or just the best bits? I think I reread faster, but I do skip over parts that I don't like sometimes and just go to the parts that I want to experience again. I know that sometimes I do just go back and reread a passage from a book. I will just find a specific paragraph that is lingering in my mind, and I will just read that part and nothing else. But if I'm rereading the full book, I do tend to just skip some of the descriptions, go straight to the dialogue, go to some of the character interactions that I want to see. So I would say I don't savor it the second time. I just get to the parts that like meant something to me. Number 6 says, who or what do you reread, or more specifically, which authors or genres or individual books? So like I said, I have read The Hunger Games many times. I get the urge every like other year to reread those. I haven't read them in a long time though, but I love reading those ones. I feel like I enjoy them more and more, especially Mockingjay. I enjoy that one more every time I read it because I feel like I understand just a little bit better what the purpose of everything was and how it ended. I remember the first time I read Mockingjay, I hated it, and then the second time I liked it more, and like I'm on to my 4th or 5th reread, and I feel like I really enjoy that book now. But I've found myself wanting to reread pretty much all of the TJ Klune books that I've read, especially The House in the Cerulean Sea. I just want to live in that world again. They were so precious. I want to see those kids again. I just want to be with them again. They were so sweet and I loved them. And I do want to reread his Green Creek series. I don't know if I'll be able to manage it before the 4th and final book comes out, but I would love to live in that world again and get everything from it before the 4th book comes out. And I do also want to reread Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I can't remember a lot of what happened, but I do remember really liking it, and my best friend just reread it about a month ago, and he said that he loved it even more that time. So I think I want to read that one again too, and there are too many books and not enough time. So I do think I just go for the stories that like touched me personally and like made my heart kind of just melt. Number 7 is there a book that you found better when you reread it? Yes, like I just said, I liked Mockingjay more and more every time I've read them. Number 8 says, is there a book that was worse on your reread? And I have not reread a book and felt that it was worse on the reread. They've always just been better for me, but I obviously don't reread a lot of books, so it could happen in the future. Hopefully not. And the final question says, which book or series have you reread the most? And I think it is The Hunger Games, but it could possibly be Twilight. I think I read Twilight, the very first book, maybe every single movie that came out, I might have tried to reread the series, but probably only read the first book every time, which could have put me at 5 times of reading Twilight. I remember really loving Twilight when I was in middle school, so I might have read that one a lot of times, but I'm not sure. I distinctly remember reading The Hunger Games many times. So I'm gonna go with The Hunger Games, but it could possibly be Twilight. Alright, that is it for the Reread book tag. I want to say thank you again to Nat for tagging me. I will link her video up here if I haven't already and put it in the description. Definitely go check her out. She is wonderful. I love her. I will also tag everybody I want to see do this below, as well as the original video if I can find it, and the questions. I would love to know what book or series you have reread a million times so that I can add it to my wish list if I have not read it yet, because I'm going to trust you. If you've read it a million times, I probably should at least read it once. All right, I think that is all that I have. I will see you later. Bye.